Now, from Hilo to Honolulu, live, local, late breaking, this is News 8 at 10.
Dealing with damage, local Red Cross volunteers depart for Guam after a typhoon renders the island a disaster zone. Good evening and thanks for joining us. President Bush today declared parts of Guam struck by Typhoon Chataan a disaster area. The action makes the Pacific Island territory eligible for federal assistance. Emergency workers from Hawaii are also on their way to provide some relief. News 8's Danielle DeLong was at the airport.
Volunteers in Guam and here in Hawaii are working together to get the island back up and running. Jocelyn Colado arrived at the airport early this morning for her flight to Guam.
Hello, thank you. Yeah, and you are checked in now.
She's one of more than a dozen American Red Cross volunteers from Hawaii on her way to help with relief efforts in the aftermath of Typhoon Chataan.
The Hawaii State chapter is actually the coordinating chapter for the Pacific Islands. So if a disaster strikes any of those islands, Hawaii would send support.
Jocelyn will be part of the first groups to arrive in the area. They'll likely see scenes like this once they arrive. This is video of a previous storm in the region. Other volunteers will follow once an assessment has been made.
People come in for 3 weeks, they go home, we bring another crew of people in. So it's going to take, we're going to be there as long as we're needed.
Jocelyn and 5 volunteers head out now. 7 more will join them by the weekend's end, and they'll be performing all sorts of disaster relief operations.
We've got everybody doing things like damage assessment, seeing how many homes are damaged and to what extent, family service for people who are going to need financial and emotional assistance.
And over at the Red Cross headquarters, Disaster Director Glenn Lockwood studies the latest printouts on the damage.
Roads are blocked. We know that there's a lot of debris. Trees of all sizes have been uprooted. They still have 1,500 people in the shelter as of this hour, and they have approximately 133 of them that are below the age of 3.
And damage like that can make the Red Cross's job difficult. So Glenn will keep Jocelyn and the volunteers updated as they work to lend a hand to the people of Guam.
We're going to be there to help them and get them back on their feet.
And the Salvation Army is also helping out. It has issued a public appeal for cash donations. If you'd like to donate, contact the local Salvation Army. Reporting from the newsroom, Danielle DeLong, News 8.
Firefighters tonight just rescued some hikers that got lost on a trail in Nu'uanu. Crews began searching shortly after 8 this evening after the group used a cell phone to call for help. Air One spotted the 2 adults and 4 teenagers after they lit a campfire. Fire officials say it's a good thing rescuers were able to locate the hikers quickly.
No, they just had T-shirts, no food or anything. They just got themselves lost, and I expect them to be rather chilly when they come out.
Rescuers on the ground hiked out to the group and guided them to safety. 8 Kaneohe-based Marines are recovering tonight after a grenade blew up during a RIMPAC training exercise. The accident happened late yesterday at the Pohakuloa training area on the Big Island. Military officials say the grenade accidentally exploded in a trench where the Marines were huddled. 7 of the victims are being flown to the Tripler Army Hospital as a precaution. The U.S. Navy is beginning operations to pull out of the southern Philippines after a 6-month counterterrorism training exercise. But a Marine company from the Hawaii-based 1st Battalion is staying in the country, helping to ship out equipment and other personnel. This is file video of a Marine training exercise on Oahu. Those leaving the Philippines are among 1,000 U.S. personnel building roads and digging wells to improve military mobility. Kauai police have completed another successful green harvest operation. They confiscated 9,650 marijuana plants last week during a 3-day mission. Some of the plants were 8 feet tall. Police did not make any arrests. Some lucky students are ready to learn tonight thanks to a generous donation from the community. U.S. Senator Dan Inouye and Pittsburgh Steelers running back Chris Fuamatu-Ma'afala were on hand to pass out school supplies to needy children. News 8's Joanne Shin has more.
Just seeing the excitement from these kids is a good sign. They're eager to go back to school this year with school supplies.
When you consider that, there are other kids like that, what we're doing here is important.
The supplies were donated by the community and will go to kids less fortunate. Among the supporters out today, Senator Daniel Inouye.
When I was a kid in the 1st grade, my best friend did not come to school for about 10 days. And when I inquired, I said, what's wrong with you? Are you sick? He said, no more pencil. Because he did not have a pencil, he didn't come to class.
St. Louis grad and Pittsburgh Steelers running back Chris Fuamatu-Ma'afala takes Inoa's story to heart, because not too long ago, this was his story.
It's kind of embarrassing, teacher got your name on the board, you got to bring in this and that, and, I was missing rulers and everything. All I had was photo paper and a pencil.
After today, thousands of kids will go back to school with not only supplies, but something bigger.
It's good to come and, pass out some of these stuff to the kids and, so that they can go to class with some confidence and some self-esteem.
Joanne Shin, News 8.
Over the last 4 years, Ready to Learn has provided school supplies for 25,000 needy children statewide. The Board of Water Supply says the repair work under Dillingham Boulevard is almost complete. Road crews have been tearing up Dillingham Boulevard for almost 4 years. The reason? A 42-inch water line under the congested Kalihi artery. The Board of Water Supply says the original completion date was set for December. Crews for the Bruce Willis film shut down part of King Street today to shoot the opening scene of Willis's new flick. The scene is supposed to be Nigeria, complete with Nigerian flags flying on the Hawaii State Judiciary Building. In the movie, the building is home to Nigeria's president. Actors playing Army personnel were also on hand for their role in a Nigerian coup.
You'll probably see some troops walking around, and this sort of catapults the story being Bruce Willis, playing a Navy SEAL, has to go into Nigeria to rescue an Italian doctor.
The film's new title is Tears of the Sun. It's set to be released in the summer of 2003. The film's publicist says Bruce Willis has already left Hawaii. In national news, a week of flooding in Texas has killed at least 8 people, and more rain is in the forecast. The flooding has forced more than 4,000 people from their homes and caused tens of millions of dollars in damage. NBC's Brett Johnson has the latest.
As the volume of water flowing over the spillway at Canyon Lake Dam in the Texas Hill Country continues to increase dramatically, the floodwaters along the Guadalupe River continue to rise as more houses are swept downstream in the town of New Braunfels.
Kind of a sickening feeling watching your house fill up with water. And
for 3 days now, Ron Hildebrand has lived through the torture of watching his home slowly slip beneath the rushing water.
You get a lot of confusing different reports from different people, and you kind of watch the water come up and down, and you hope it doesn't go any higher. And
meanwhile, the water level has dropped dramatically at Lake Medina, but continues to flow over the spillway.
The dam itself, the cracks, the leaks, that is not a problem.
Engineers are keeping a close watch on Lake Medina's 90-year-old dam. Friday night, the water level came within 18 inches of going over the top of the dam, which one engineer says could have been catastrophic.
If it did go over the dam, bottom line, could the dam fail?
Yes.
Downstream, cleanup is underway in the town of Castroville, where floodwaters have dropped dramatically in the past 24 hours along the Medina River.
I'm devastated. It's a horrible thing, to lose everything.
After being evacuated twice, Jackie Murrah returned to the heartbreak of finding her home of 21 years in total ruin.
Needless to say, the water got up to the second floor, so, everything. If you could get inside, you'd be horrified, just horrified.
Brett Johnson for NBC News.
In some areas of central Texas, storms dumped more than 30 inches of rain in less than a week. In other news beyond Hawaii, one of Afghanistan's newly appointed vice presidents was assassinated today as he arrived at his office in Kabul. Police say 2 gunmen shot Abdul Qadir as he drove into his office compound. Some 36 rounds were fired, smashing the car's windshield and riddling the side with bullet holes. Qadir's driver was also killed. The gunmen hiding in the bushes got away. No group has claimed responsibility for Qadir's murder. New information shows the man who opened fire at the Los Angeles airport on July 4th was almost deported from the U.S. 6 years ago. Hisham Mohammed Harayet killed 2 people before he was shot dead at the El Al ticket counter. Harayet was an Egyptian immigrant whose petition for permanent U.S. residency was denied in February 1996. But before immigration officers could deport him, he won permanent residency through his wife, who already had an immigration visa. And President Bush is celebrating his 56th birthday today at the family compound on the coast of Maine. Bush kicked his birthday off with a round of golf with his father, former President Bush. The two spent yesterday fishing and will spend the rest of the weekend relaxing with the rest of the family. Coming up next on News 8 at 10, hundreds of cute contestants vie for the title of Hawaii's healthiest baby. Plus, the so-called Store of Hawaii looks to e-commerce for a boost in business. First, News 8 Everywhere tonight with a live look at Hilo. The Hamakua Artisans Guild presents its Summer Arts Festival tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the Tex Drive-In. Back on Oahu, a live look from our First Hawaiian Bank Tower Camp. Ala Moana Center will hold an Arts and Crafts Expo tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Said to find the word overstock. I've got cars all over. It's Frank here, the very overstocked used car guy at McKenna's. To cut a massive inventory, I'm throwing the biggest used car sale you'll ever see. It's a sales fest. Buy any car, truck, SUV, whatever, with just $85 cash down payment. Buy risk-free. If you're not satisfied within 30 days, bring it back. Buy your next car for as little as $129 a month. I'll be here at McKenna's in Kailua.
On the next Entertainment Tonight, the first official photo of Liz Hurley's baby boy Damien. And wait till you hear what she says about her son's father. Then, Tom Cruise and the lost footage from Top Gun.
Eject!
A rare look behind the scenes. Plus, whatever happened to Growing Pains' Kirk Cameron and the real-life accident on the set of his new movie.
I ran to the phone and called 911.
And the making of Men in Black 2's Aliens. Next ET. Monday on News 8. Live, local, late breaking. You're watching News 8 at 10.
It's baby madness today at the annual Healthy Baby Contest. Over 350 babies have entered the contest, sponsored by Meadow Gold Dairies. The goal, to be crowned Oahu's healthiest baby for 2002. The contestants face stiff competition as they vie for the title. Organizers say choosing a winner is a difficult decision.
Because every baby's a winner, and it's just a small moment in the entire child's life. But the judges do their best. They have the hardest job.
Today's healthiest and cutest babies still have to go through another round of preliminaries. Then it's off to the farm fair on July 21st, where the lucky winner will be crowned. A local retailer is getting ready to expand its services in cyberspace. Hilo Hattie, the self-proclaimed Store of Hawaii, will soon be unveiling a new website. News 8's Lisa Kubota gives us a sneak peek.
It's going to have a lot of new features and functions, cross-selling, upselling.
Brent Potter is in charge of online sales at Hilo Hattie's flagship store on Nimitz Highway.
With things changing constantly on the internet, we felt it was time for a new change for our website look and everything.
E-commerce now accounts for about 10% of the store's business, a figure that's been steadily rising over the last couple of years.
This year so far, we're up about 40% to last year, and we attribute that growth to the service that we offer online, the unique products, the quality, and so forth. Things like this, a silk shirt, it's really popular. People love to wear it on the mainland in the summertime.
The new and improved website will offer shoppers suggestions about other products they might be interested in.
When they're looking at that short on the site, they might also see other things you might like, and that might include things like a blouse or slippers or sandals.
The online offerings help the company market Hawaii to an audience worldwide.
About 50% of our traffic is to the West Coast, California, Oregon, Washington, Arizona, but also we do ship all the way to Asia, Europe, and so forth.
Capitalizing on the popularity of Hawaii-themed products makes Hilo Hattie a force to be reckoned with.
A lot of kids are very interested in Lilo and Stitch. It's really catching on, and Stitch is a big seller right now.
Lisa Kubota, News 8.
The new website will be up and running on Wednesday. For a link to the current Hilo Hattie site, log on to KHNL.com. Joanne has your neighborhood weather forecast next. But first, a live look outside at traffic on Kalanianaola Highway. Hawaii Kai Town Center presents a free sneak preview of the annual Hawaii International Jazz Festival. Showtime